been an expensive week for Sleepy Joe over in the US, desperate to buy himself some popularity ahead of the midterms. The latest measure, a $500 billion plan to cancel student debt. Even by the Biden administration's very low standards, this policy is crazy. It's regressive and inflationary. It will take money from the less privileged who don't have college degrees and the responsible who paid off their debts and give it to households earning up to, get this, US $250,000. That's 361,000 Australian dollars. They'll be eligible for up to US $10,000 loan forgiveness. Just mad stuff. And it was only a year ago that Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, told us that Biden didn't even have the power to forgive debt.
People think that the President of the United States, is this more on the subject than you ever want to know? Well, you'll let me know. People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
Joining me now is my wonderful Friday night panel, Sky News contributor Prue McSween and Sky US contributor Kosha Gator. Ladies, welcome. I've given you just a new title, Kosha. I don't think that's actually an official title. You're also a Sky News contributor, not just on matters US, but you're an expert at that. Now, this decision, I've got to say, will please the rent seekers looking for free money. But have a look at this exchange between Senator Elizabeth Warren and a voter who worked 2 jobs to pay their family's debts.
I just want to ask one question. My daughter's getting out of school. I saved all my money. She doesn't have any student loans. Am I going to get my money back? Of course not. So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us that did the right thing get screwed.
No, it's not anybody got screwed. When we started,
of course we did. My buddy had fun, bought a car, went on vacations. I saved my money. He made more than I did. But I worked a double shift, worked extra. My daughter's worksheet is 10. So you're laughing. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing, and we get screwed.
Kosha, he makes an excellent point. He's working 2 jobs, sacrificing, not taking vacations so he can pay off your debts, take personal responsibility. He'll not get a refund, but the people who lived beyond their means and didn't pay back their debts, they get checks for $10,000.
He does, Rita, and I am in that camp. I paid back my student loans for both my undergraduate degree and my graduate degree ahead of schedule, so I totally get, what he's saying with that. But I think, there's 2 lenses through which to look at this issue. And the first lens is a political lens, and I have to say that it is great politics. The Democrats play to win, and you, on some level, kind of have to admire that and give them credit for that, because Joe Biden campaigned on this, and he said he would do it, and he's doing it, even if it's not legal. And I do expect to see some lawsuits come out of this, as you mentioned in that, and as Speaker Pelosi mentioned, he does not have the authority to do that. It has to come through an act of Congress. He doesn't care if that goes through the judiciary, so be it. But for now, he's getting out in front. It's great linguistics again, which they're very good at, whether it's the Inflation Reduction Act or it's the Debt Forgiveness Act. Who doesn't love forgiveness? We all love that. So they sort of position you into this box where you kind of come across as a bad person for not wanting to do it. And the third thing is it puts Republicans on the back foot as usual, where they're now crying about the fiscal responsibility about this, but they've lost their position on that.
But we've got the less privileged picking up the bill for the most privileged, because you look at the demographics of who's going to benefit from this, and it's not the downtrodden, poverty-stricken members of the community. It's quite often people who've are earning decent money and obviously have college degrees. Prue, I'm worried that Australian Labor's going to get ideas here. I don't know about you, but I worked hard to pay back my HECS debt. But this could be a popular policy right here if Labor say, we'll wipe HECS debts and get a whole bunch of new votes.
Well, we see it's a political play by Biden. He's trying to get the young vote and, bugger the people who are traditionally the workers who are now seemingly voting Republican. So whether he can get it through or not is another thing. In Australia's case, Well, Albanese probably doesn't need it as much because he's playing to the young vote with the Green policies he has. He seems to have, as Labor has really, you know, thrown its gauntlet down, and through the various grooming processes through the education system from really, early childhood, you know, we've got a generation of young people who think the world's going to end if we don't embrace every policy that either the Greens or Labor put forward. So it could give him ideas. Of course, I remember in Gough Whitlam's days, I had a Commonwealth scholarship. It was free education. Most of us who had a reasonable, opportunity or reasonable success at school were given Commonwealth scholarships. So it's a whole different ballgame. But the premise has always been that if you go to university, your capacity to earn more is much greater than those who don't. So that is why they were charged HECS. So nothing really has changed, I guess, other than universities are becoming babysitting, forums now with people who have been put off going to, TAFEs and getting vocational trades, seeming to go and get an arts degree.
Yes.
Which, what's that going to help them with?